If you approach a client and you're like, hey, I know you probably don't want to meet tomorrow because it's Thanksgiving. Guess what? They're not going to want to meet tomorrow because it's Thanksgiving. We are live. My name is Ryan Federico, joined today by two of the best hosts on the planet, Mr. Ashton Delango Lunday, Mr. Grant Lieber. Grant is in a storage closet somewhere with encyclopedias. Are you looking up encyclopedias, Grant? What are you doing over there?
I'm at the home of my dear grandmother. So if it looks like I'm in the office of an 86-year-old, that's because I am.
He's in the office of an 86-year-old. So your office doesn't look too different from this, by the way. So just throwing that out there.
Thank you. It's
Pretty
because
much.
I'm a very seasoned and sophisticated individual. I have many leather-bound books.
Well, hey, check it out. Today, we wanted to come on and go live for everybody. We wanted to talk about how to approach running business through the holidays. Pretty simple. We have Thanksgiving coming up tomorrow. If you couldn't tell by this wonderful hat that I'm wearing, how do you approach running appointments and dealing with clients around a holiday? We got a holiday season coming up, not only tomorrow, but then we'll be in Christmas and New Year's, the beginning of the year, any holiday that you can think of. How do we approach that? And we've got a few topics that we want to go over with everybody here today, and hopefully we can add some value and help you guys. And one of the first things that we really wanted to dive into is actually a topic that Grant brought up, which is this really interesting concept, man. I love talking to you about this, which was kind of earning the time off. And have you earned the time off? Have you not earned the time off? And how do we juxtapose that with like our lifestyle? When you're approaching the holidays, or Grant, if you've got like a new agent on your team or something like that, and you're helping them navigate their first holiday season, what are typically the things you're going over with them?
Yeah, I mean, I think it really starts with kind of the big picture of, do you understand how holidays impact self-employed people versus how they impact someone that may be employed through a company? And I think that's an important distinction just to start with. And so the first thing that I kind of share with agents on my team is we're kind of gearing up for something like a Thanksgiving or a Christmas or the holiday season. And this really isn't any different from any even Monday holiday. As you kind of think about, if you were someone who worked at a 9 to 5 office and you kind of showed up Monday through Friday, you have certain days that you've been kind of afforded the ability to take off. And that's a result of work you have done, through that process previously. When you're self-employed, you have the 100% option to choose if you are going to be working or if you're going to take that time off. And I think what a lot of people make the mistake of doing is they make the mistake of deciding if they're going to take the time off based on their family telling them you should take the time off, or, hey, my brother who has a job gets, this day off. Why wouldn't I take the day off? They don't look at what their history has been, because most people have not put in the work needed to really earn that time off before they take it off. Now, let me clarify, we all join this business because we want work-life balance. We all join this business because we want to be able to work from wherever. And we also want to be able to take time off without having to, apologize or to ask anyone about doing so. But at the same time, I can tell you that when I very first started in this business, yeah, I'd take Thanksgiving off, but I sure as heck was back on the phone Friday morning. I would take the day off, but the next day, right after, I was back on it. And then there's some people that kind of look at it and go, well, when I had a job, I got the whole week off. Well, back when you had a job, you probably worked Monday through Friday from 9 to 5. I haven't seen you dialing, more than 6 hours in the last 3 months combined. So it's like, I think the main thing that we want to really encourage is, number one, we're here for work-life balance. You're here to have that choice, but you have to look through it from the lens of being a business owner and what's going to be best for your business. Because we all know that when you take too much time off, if you don't have a consistent pipeline, it's going to really be a detriment to your long-term business.
Yeah, man, it's such an interesting point, because I think a bigger question is, what industry are you working in? And so it's like, yeah, if you're working at an office job, which most people are coming here so they don't have to work in an office type of job, right? Yeah, that industry serves people during business hours, 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, like this construct of time that's been set up in corporate America. But if you're in retail, your hours are quite different, because you're dealing with people during retail times, weekends, evenings, stuff like that. If you're in real estate, you're showing homes to people who are working during the day. So you're working evenings and weekends. If you're in home improvement, same thing. So there's a lot of industries like ours that operate when consumers are available mostly. And, I'm not saying that even in our industry, you can't like work the final expense market and have like people that are retired and stuff like that. But the majority of the people that we work with are going to be working during the day. So do we naturally understand that we're going to be working when other people are not working? And that's actually
Yeah.
our main work time is when other people aren't working. And so it's kind of like I find a lot of times we have this weird crossroads, Grant, where it's like, hey, I want the same schedule as the people that I'm selling to, right? I want to be able just to work Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, but none of the people that I'm selling to are available during that time. I want the lifestyle that they have where they get weekends off and they get nights off, or whatever. But I also want the freedom to set my own schedule. And those two things don't really match. What's cool about what we can do is we have this awesome flexibility because we're virtual and we can work different states and time zones and stuff like that. But man, I've seen it so many times where it's just like, "Well, yeah, I don't work on the weekends." It's like, "Well, you're gonna miss a lot of clients." I don't know, Ashel, what do you think, man?
Yeah, I think a really big illusion that we give ourselves in the beginning is, and I'm going to go opposite of what Grant's saying here, is a work life balance. I don't know anyone who's ever created a business that goes, oh my goodness, in the first year of opening a business, you're not going to believe how much free time I have. Oh, man, I was working like 30 hours a week. I took off every holiday.
My life was so
I
balanced.
I don't know why more people don't open businesses. Like that's not what happens. I don't know if you know anyone that's opened a business before, but anyone that I know has opened a business, they almost hate their work life balance because they go, man, until I get things off the ground, that means I'm doing everything. I'm the admin, I am the contract, and I am the new agent. Like I am everything, and I have to be everything until I have the money, not only to pay my bills, if that can even happen, but then to pay someone else to go do some of these things. And so we come in and we want to be the person that's been here 5, 6, 7, 10 years, that's built a book of business, that has consistent income, that has 30, 40 people working with them, that has this stable income, and we want that the day we start. And it isn't, unfortunately.
Yeah.
And so in the beginning, you got to do what you got to do, and it's going to be unfun for a little bit. You hear people like Jamie Susie, someone who built very quickly, but said, "Hey, I gave up every weeknight, every weekend for 2, 3 years straight, so I could be where I'm at as quickly as I wanted."
No, and I think it comes down to understanding what we're promoting and what our industry can bring, and what timeline in which you can reasonably expect that. And I think that's something important that you brought up,
Absolutely.
because people become business owners and entrepreneurs, not because they want to be stressed out and work for 80 hours a week for the rest of their life, so that they can be stressed out and work for 80 hours a week for like a couple of years and then spend 30 years being able to do whatever the heck they want, whenever they want, and have the financial assets to do that. So when people come into our industry, the insurance industry, or anything where you're going to be self-employed, it's so important that they do maintain that mindset that you just shared, is like, when other people are maybe taking time off, you're working, for a period of time, for a stretch of time, in order for you to put yourself in a position to take that off. And as we've all seen so many examples through our industry, it's not that much time. How many people have we hired that have told us how they've spent 5, 10, 15, 20 years in corporate America, don't have a single thing to show for it? How many people in our business have spent 3 to
0.
5 to 7 years grinding it out, working really hard, and also, by the way, having tons of fun in between? It's not like we've had 3 or 5 or 7 years of people having terrible times. They've gone through that, and now look at the lifestyle that they have. So I think the main thing that people like
Yeah.
when we talk about how we produce around holidays, you have to understand that like it's no different from a weekend that you have the option to work or not work that weekend. When you're working around the holidays, it's just, are you at a point in your business where you have the stability to take extra time off and still be where you want? And most people are not at a place to do that.
Yeah, it's interesting. One of the things that's coming to mind is there's an agent, Joe Martinez, who many people know. It's a wildly successful agency, and I always remember Joe Martinez talking about he was managing restaurants, right? He was managing these large restaurant steakhouses in Texas, and how like every holiday he's working. You know what I mean? Like Father's Day, he's working. Mother's Day, he's working. Christmas is working. And yeah, you get a couple days off here or there, but the thing that you brought up, Grant, that's very interesting to me is like, so I want to have the life of that John, the office worker, has. It's like, but John, got up at 7 a.m., got, showered, got dressed, drove 30, 40 minutes to be at a job, sat in his cubicle and went to meetings and banged workout and got stuff done, did that for 5 days a week, answered emails on probably Saturday, took some calls at like the amount of time that John office worker put in to earn that Saturday or Sunday off or to earn that holiday break or whatever. Like, have you done the same in your business? Have you pounded getting with clients Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday? Have you made the numbers? Have you hit the deliverables that you need to hit for your business like John did when he was working for his business that gave him Sunday off or that gave him the week between Christmas and New Year's off? Have you done that in your business? And if you have, awesome. Take the days off. Like we don't need to tell you to take the days off. You have complete control of your schedule. But so often, man, I just see people who like they didn't work Monday because it was like, oh, it's everybody's at work, so I can't work on Monday. And then they didn't work Tuesday because they're like, oh, everybody's at work. And then all of a sudden it's Saturday, and they're like, oh, I want to take Saturday and Sunday off. It's like, well, you're just not working. You're not putting in any work at all to do this business, or you're putting in a very limited amount of hours. So guess what? Like you haven't earned taking Thanksgiving off or taking Christmas off or taking New Year's off. Like you haven't done enough work yet to do that, which I think was what I took away from what you were sharing, Grant.
Yeah, and then maybe just to kind of set this particular part of the conversation kind of to rest, just on the mindset, and we can transition to kind of the actual how-tos of producing around the holidays, is if anyone has been around someone who is a six-figure or maybe even multiple six-figure employee, you probably realize how much crazy hours they have to work. I live with a over $100,000 a year employee, and she spends tons of hours outside of normal business hours working. Sunday mornings working, getting, done with work at 5 p.m., but still having 3 or 4 hours of stuff to do working. Like, you don't get a break when you become a six-figure income earner employee. But for some reason, people think that they can become a six-figure income self-employed person and that they can just work a few hours a week and then the checks are just going to be hitting the mailbox.
Yeah, they get their insurance license and it's just going to rain from the sky on them or something like that. Yeah, it's not how it works, unfortunately. To get into some of the strategy, man. So we had a couple points that we wanted just to give people some tips for how to approach the holiday. One of the things that you brought up, Ashton, was it's only an issue if you make it an issue, right? I thought that was such a great tip for some of these people that may be making it a bigger deal than it actually is, and they're blowing it out of proportion. The clients actually don't care. So, what's been your experience with that? We just heard you like as
Man,
we're prepping for this call, book an appointment with somebody for tomorrow. So, like
man.
tomorrow's Thanksgiving. What's that philosophy, man? Lay it
Yeah,
on us.
I don't think I've ever booked an appointment during the holidays, so I don't know. No, yeah, I mean, it's simple. When you're coming into these things, just like in anything, it's only going to be an issue if you make it an issue. That's honestly that's really it. There's nothing else to it. Um, I've had agents ask me, how do you book appointments during a holiday week or during, holiday times or holiday months? And, very simply, unless you want to take off that entire amount of time, the day, the week, the month, then what are you going to do? And if you want to take off that much time, you better make sure you did a bunch extra so you can. There's technically no wrong answer. But here's the thing, it's only gonna be an issue if you decide to make it an issue. I haven't had a single person I've called this week to book an appointment and went, "Hey, you asked for the insurance. I'm working all brand new leads. I'm working brand spanking new leads, whether it's digital or whether it's analog, and they're all coming in live time." And I haven't had a single person go, "Oh, you know what? Sorry sorry, Ashton, I can't meet." I haven't had a single person yet because it's very simple. I just said, "Hey, great. Here's the information that I need. All right, great. We're going to do this time or this time. Which one's best?" And it's that simple. And I haven't had a
Yeah.
single person give me an issue yet.
Totally, man. I think that's such a great point because my tip on this whole thing for everybody if you're wondering how to really take advantage of the holidays. And I think holidays should be taken advantage of. And I think that you can have both as my personal belief. And I love, Michael Vigil in the comments right now saying Tony Capistrano has done multiple appointments Thanksgiving and Christmas. So have I. I got appointments booked tomorrow. I've run appointments. I sold a policy my first year on Christmas Day or Christmas Eve. Sorry, I wrote a policy on Christmas Eve. So like this idea of it's only an issue if you make it an issue. The power of suggestion is really a major thing here. If you're going into your appointments and you're going to book an appointment and you go, well, hey, I know tomorrow's Thanksgiving, so you probably don't want to meet then. You're putting in their mind that they're not available to meet. What are you going to do on Thanksgiving? Let's keep it real. What do most people do on Thanksgiving? The first half of Thanksgiving Day, not doing anything. They're hanging around the house. They're watching the early football games. Maybe they're doing a little bit of cleanup. They got some guests coming over or something like that, but their day doesn't get rolling until midway through the day or, maybe even early evening when they're actually doing whatever they're doing for Thanksgiving, even if they're traveling, right? Even if they're traveling, they still got some time that's available because the
Yeah.
festivities don't start typically until later.
Yeah. Well, Paul just said he booked an appointment for 11 a.m. tomorrow. He was talking to a client. It was already booked.
Yeah, I've got 2 appointments on my calendar for tomorrow for the morning. This is my point is if you approach a client and you're like, "Hey, I know you probably don't wanna meet tomorrow because it's Thanksgiving." Guess what? They're not gonna wanna meet tomorrow because of Thanksgiving. But if you approach a client saying, "Hey, most of the people that I've been talking to have said since they're off work tomorrow, they're available to meet in the beginning of the day, and I've actually made myself available to meet with people while they're off work. So I've got a couple spaces that are available in the beginning of the day tomorrow before the Thanksgiving stuff gets going. Let me see what I have available in here. Maybe we can make something work. I have an 11:15 or I have a 9:45. Which one do you think would be better for you?" And now we've made the suggestion that guess what? Other people have told me that they wanna meet, fill in the blank, with, when they have the day off work, when they're available, when they don't have anything pressing in their calendar, when they're relaxing before Thanksgiving, right? Whatever it is, you suggest that a lot of people wanna meet during this time, so you've made yourself available to meet with people during this time because they're off work. If you suggest that, a bunch of people are gonna be like, "Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm not really doing anything tomorrow morning. I don't have to be anywhere till 1 p.m. 9:30 sounds fine for me to take 15 or 20 minutes to talk about this insurance coverage," right? It's that simple. If you don't make it a big deal, they won't make it a big deal. If you suggest these times, same thing with Christmas. Hey, we know a lot of people have the week between Christmas and New Year's off. I've made myself available to meet with people before the end of the year so we can get this done when their work schedule is very light before the beginning of the year when stuff gets super hectic and everybody's doing stuff to New Year's resolutions and whatnot. So I've put some times of availability in my calendar. Why don't we find a time that works for you? And we just suggest that other people are doing it. You made yourself available. We know they're available. And let's just knock this thing out. You can do that for Martin Luther King Day. You can do that for Labor Day. You can do that for Memorial Day. You can do that for, hey, we know you got the day off. And a lot of people want to meet during this time because they have the day off. Let's meet. It's that simple, just having that power of suggestion, man.
Ryan, you said something so good there. So good there. I must stop you here because I don't want this point to be missed. You just completely reverse psychology the people that say, "Why don't you just call me after the holiday?" We've all been here. I've been here for 7 years. Every year around the holidays, guess what people try and tell you? "Why don't you call me after the holidays?" What you just did is you prefaced it by eliminating the objection before it could even come up by saying, "Hey, you know what? Before it kind of gets crazy with the new year and everything, why don't we get you taken care of when I know that a lot of people generally have time off? Will the best time to do that be XYZ?"
Yeah.
So, and it's the same thing with like you think about Thanksgiving. Okay, so Black Friday is a day that a vast majority of people have off. And guess what people do on Black Friday? They buy stuff. They buy stuff they don't need with money they don't have. Credit card debt, come on, right? That is what Black Friday is all about. What if you were to insert yourself in these families' lives by providing a product that they actually already asked about, they know that they need, and they're already in a buying season? It is like the cream of the crop of timing to do this. So I think when you're getting involved with doing production around a holiday, number one, you have to keep in mind the people that tell you, "Call me after this day," or "Call me after the New Year," "Call me after Thanksgiving," "Call me after Christmas." They are literally the exact same people that are going to tell you, "Why don't you call me next week? Why don't you call me in 2 weeks? Why don't you call me next month?" Because they use that word Thanksgiving or Christmas or New Year's, we get sold. we get sold on the fact that maybe, man, maybe that is a legitimate excuse. Maybe that holiday is a legitimate reason not to meet with people. Well, do you know that the holidays are the most likely time that someone is going to die? Do you know that there's more, accidents in wintertime than any other time of year? Do you know that it's very likely that there's going to be a client that you may have called that told you that they're not available into the holiday, and you'll call them again in January, and something may not have happened to them, but probably could have potentially happened to their family during that period of time? So, how intentional are you about getting resolution on your leads? Because it's not just about resolution on a lead, it's about a resolution on protecting the family. So, how intentional are you about getting to the actual bottom of either protecting them or knowing that you're not going to protect them? And that's fine too. At least you know that you gave it a shot. So, when it comes to this, I'm really passionate about the mindset here because the actual technical phrasing is really pretty straightforward. Like Ryan just gave you a really good example of what to say. And you can, and you also kind of alluded to this, hey, you know what? Tomorrow, like if somebody is dialing today, hey, listen, my Thanksgiving festivities are starting tomorrow, probably about 4 or 5 p.m. So I do have some time in the morning and early afternoon. Would it be better to meet in the morning or early afternoon tomorrow? Like now they're not going to say to you, well, what do you mean tomorrow? That's Thanksgiving. I already just told them, yeah, I know tomorrow's Thanksgiving. My Thanksgiving doesn't start till 5 or 6. When does yours start until? Right? Because people aren't doing most stuff during the day. The same thing when you talk about Christmas. Christmas is kind of a 1 day event and it's kind of really a morning event. Yeah, maybe there's, Christmas Eve. So the evening before. And then same thing with New Year's Day. That's maybe like, okay, it's in the morning or maybe it's the night before, but these are not things where it's like people are taking, tons and tons of time off to spend with family to do it, but it is times where they have time off from work where you can help them out. So I hope people didn't miss a little bit of that reverse psychology you kind of just did there, Ryan.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. And to piggyback off what you just said about mindset, I was talking to an agent so this agent was we're setting some accountability. They were like, "Hey, I need you to hold me accountable. I'm going to make some dials. I'm going to call some people this last weekend." And so on Monday, I reach out to the agent, "Hey, how'd your dials go? How'd everything shape up this weekend?" And their response was, "Well, actually I had to get ready for Thanksgiving this weekend." Right? There was a bunch of, we had to go shopping. We had to do this. We're having people at our house. We had this event with whatever. And it was like, wait, so you spent the entire weekend getting ready for Thursday, right? For one day, this 1 day event that it's actually only going to be a few hours, not even going to be the entire day. And if we fall prey to this, man, it's like there isn't an end to how many things you can put in your way. It's like, oh, I can't work this weekend because it's Thanksgiving week. People are going to be traveling. They're going to be, oh, I can't work the beginning of December because people are getting ready for Christmas. I can't work the week between Christmas and New Year's because it's the end of the year and people are traveling and they're spending time with their family. And I can't work at the beginning of the year because everybody's so busy and they're handling New Year's resolutions. And I can't work this and I can't work that. I can't work the summer because kids are off school and they're It's like you're going to just continue to make excuse after excuse after excuse after excuse of why you can't call somebody, why you can't figure out putting somebody in your calendar and getting to work. And it's just like it's a really slippery slope to go down because now you're selling yourself on why you can't be of maximum service to your clients. And so I think it's, man, we got to watch out for that mindset. But before we jump off, there's this one piece I really wanted to talk to both you guys about. So if you've been in the business for a while, okay, you have a group of current clients. You have a book of business. And guess what's not odd is people calling their clients around the holidays to say, just checking in with you. Hope you have a great Thanksgiving. Just checking in with you. Hope you have an awesome Christmas. Just wanted to wish you happy holidays. Let you know that we appreciate you in our agency. We're here for you. Wanted to check in and see how you're doing. I promise you all, if you just went into your CRM, went into wherever you keep your clients, you got a list of your clients, the people that you've wrote this past year, people that you wrote last year, the year before, and you just start calling down that list. Just go, hey, just checking in with you. It was Thanksgiving. I thought about you, wanted to wish you a happy Thanksgiving. Let me know if there's anything that I can do for you. The amount of new business that you're going to write off of those people, or if you're top of mind enough to say, hey, while you're around your family this holiday, if you realize that any of them need insurance or something like that, give them my number. Let them know that I exist. Let them know how we helped you, and we'd love to help your family too. Now, let's say that you haven't been in this business for a while and you're brand new. Guess what? Who do you talk to during the holidays? Your family,
Exactly.
right? You're going to be around people at Thanksgiving. You're going to be around people at Christmas, and you can be telling those people, hey, guess what? I got an insurance agency. We work with an amazing company. We have a team of experts. We have the top rated insurance carriers. We do mortgage protection and life insurance and children's policies and college savings plans. And we help people get out of debt and we help protect people's retirement. Like, you have all of these policies that you can say, if you guys ever need anything, just let me know. You're not selling them on insurance across the Thanksgiving dinner table. You're just telling them, I do this. And in case you ever run into anybody who needs this, just know you have somebody that you can trust in this industry, and you will get policy after policy after policy after policy. And people go, you know what? I've been thinking about getting that. How much does something like that cost? Right. And so, how can you approach your warm market or your current clients during the holidays to generate more business? I don't know if either of you have any experience doing that, but it's super powerful, man.
I'm smiling because this is something that's been awesome for me to do. And Ashton, I know you've had a lot of experience doing this, and you're a guy who really knows how to leverage systems and things to maximize. So what I've done every month for probably the last 2 years is I've sent out birthday cards every month. Here's a little card, handwritten. Hey, happy birthday. We're thinking of you. Here's my information if you ever want to talk about anything. I spent probably 6 months sending out birthday cards, getting carpal tunnel, and thinking that this was a waste of time. And then I got a call and I wrote a 12,000 APV policy. One client made 10 grand on the deal. And I just realized that number one, I'm providing service to people. I'm providing a little note to them that's a very nice touch. And I can tell you that I've gotten lots of birthday cards from lots of different companies and insurance agents and things like, people that have done my health insurance or done my car insurance. And I've always maintained a business relationship with that person, partially because of that type of service that they provide. I may not have called them the minute they sent me the card, but 6 months later, when I'm shopping around for something or thinking about, hey, who do you know that does car insurance? Well, I've just referred you to that person. So these types of touches are things that I do throughout the year, but especially in the holidays. Yes, I'm going to send holiday
Yeah.
cards. I'm actually going to make the investment to kind of do something because I've got like 600 or 700 clients. I'm not going to send 700 handwritten cards, unfortunately, but I am going to send out with my business card a pre-printed kind of note from me, and then get that professionally sent out. It's going to cost a few $100, might cost $500 or something, but I can guarantee you that whatever it costs, I'll probably earn a 15 to 20x ROI on it.
Easily.
Here's something that I'm about to blow Grant's mind here. Well, his frozen mind at least. Maybe it's already frozen there. But there's a service that I've used before that I really love. It's called Handwritten. I almost thought that's where he was actually about to go. It's called handwritten.com. It's just a Y instead of an I. You go here, there's robots that handwrite cards for you. And you can attach a copy of your business card, and they will also send out your actual business card inside the card as well. So they'll send your business card and a handwritten note.
Is this another sponsorship opportunity? We are not
I know,
sponsored
right?
by Handwritten. We don't get any kickbacks from Handwritten, but Handwritten, if you're watching, we are
like it.
accepting sponsorships at this point.
You can put all your clients' information in there. It saves it. And then you want to go send out a Christmas unit for Thanksgiving. Great. Now you go to Christmas, you can click select all, and then it'll send all of them a Christmas card. Or, you can also keep it in there for birthdays. Oh, John's birthday's coming up. All right, let me go to handwritten. All right, the client's information's already in there. They have their name, their phone number, and their address, or their name and their address. And I learned something in I had it on my desk. Where did it go? I had the book. I had the book Conversion Code over here somewhere. I don't know where it went, but I had Conversion Code. And one thing that I love that Chris Smith said in there, he's who recommended the service to me. He puts up the line in his signature. P.S. Shoot me a text when you get this. That way I know. And he goes, every time I send out the cards, every time I get a client, every time it's a holiday, they send me a text. Oh my goodness, I just got that card from you, John Ziller. And thank you so much. I love that personal touch you put in there. How you talked. I know we talked about my kids were going to go do basketball tryouts next week, and thank you so much for helping me with insurance. And yeah, you know what? They did make the team. Thanks for asking about that in that handwritten card. And they built that personal connection. Which I'm sure when you're handwriting cards, you're also doing stuff like that, Grant. Like, oh, I remember they brought this up in the appointment. They talked about their grandkids. They talked about the dog, whatever it is. And you add that personal note and then you put in there, hey, shoot me a text when you get this. That way I know you got it.
That's great. That's a great tip, man. And look, at the end of the day, all we're talking about here is be intentional around the holidays. If you're a new agent, don't get trapped in the I can't meet with people around the holidays. We're not saying that you should be at the Thanksgiving dinner table pounding the phones, right? Take some time off. We're in this business because we do have this work-life balance. We can achieve that. Just if you haven't earned it, don't take it too far. Don't make a holiday turn into a hollow week, as they say, right? Make sure that you're doing the work that you need to do prior to the holiday so that you can enjoy the holiday. Make sure that you're using the holiday to get rested up, to come out of the holiday swinging. Because as Grant said, Black Friday, amazing day for what we do. Same day appointments. We're doing our, like, even if you just said to somebody, hey, we know it's Black Friday and a lot of people want to get this taken care of today. Again, power of suggestion. We know it's Black Friday and a lot of people want to get this taken care of today. So I've opened up some time on my calendar where I can help people today. You're not saying we're having a Black Friday sale. You're just saying we know people buy today. So I've opened up some time on my calendar. So use that power of suggestion. Everybody have an amazing Thanksgiving. If you celebrate Thanksgiving, if you're around family, we hope you eat a lot of turkey. We hope if you eat turkey, if you don't, hopefully you get some tofurkey or something like that. I got a lot of tofurkeyers in my family here in California. So we hope you have a beautiful holiday. We will be back with some more content next week. And later, everybody. We'll see you.